What is up, everybody? It is Making Moves with Michael. It's Monday, Making Moves with Michael. Every Monday, I'm here anywhere between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So set your calendars. On Mondays, you will see me live either at 1 or 2 o'clock. I always put a post out. Eventually, we're narrowing it down, people. We're narrowing it down. Before I was like at 11, I was at 3. We're narrowing it down. We're getting to a time. We're getting to a specific time. Really, what I'm working through right now is my schedule on figuring out how this really works well within my schedule and without having to move too many things around. So right now, that 1, 2 o'clock window is looking really, really good for my making moves. Today, I'm live at 2 o'clock. I don't have anybody live with me right now. So you're catching a replay, and that's cool because replays are awesome. You can skip through a lot of the nonsense. And so I'm going to spare you the nonsense. We're going to jump right in to what I am going to be helping you with today. Making Moves with Michael is all about helping you in your personal life and in your business life. I bring in real, true, actionable tips. I know that they're real. I know that they're true because my coach uses them on me. And then I use them in my life and in my business. And so I bring to you what I learn and I share it with you for free just to give it to you. Well, of course. I mean, I'm building a business here, people. So I'm giving it to you for free so that you know what I'm good at. So, what am I good at? I'm good at helping you get better and improve your life. And that's what we're here for. So, let's jump right into what I have to share with you today. The post that I put out to promote today's Making Move with Michael is all about reflection. So we're here. It's the end of January. It is the last week in January today. Today is the last week in January. Friday is January 31st. And then we start February. So we know what happened on January 1st or around that first week of January. You set some goals, you had some ideas, you had a big vision, and all of this other stuff. And the question is, where are you today? Don't turn this off yet because I'm not here to judge you. And I don't want you to judge yourself either. So, what we're talking about is reflection. And what I'm going to share with you is how you can reflect on this past month. How you can reflect in your life, but we're just going to focus on this month, right? We don't want to pack too much. So, how you can reflect on this past month in order for you to have a clear vision for next month or your future. But really, what we're going to talk about is the month of January so that you could have a clear February and how to do this. And I promise you, this is super simple. I'm thinking that this video is going to be about like 8 minutes. It's probably not because I go off and talk a lot. So it's not going to be 8 minutes, but I promise you that my tips, my strategies for reflecting are so simple and they're going to cost you nothing, more than likely. I mean, you might have to go buy some paper and pen. I don't know. Really up to you. But more than likely, they'll cost you nothing. You want to level up, I'm sure they'll cost you something. But as of right now, I promise you that what I'm going to share with you is absolutely free. You can do it on your own. You can do it right away. You can start right now. All right. So, first, let's just understand the purpose of reflection and how to get into a great state so that you can reflect proactively, I guess. Right. So, the purpose of reflection is we need to be able to know what we've done in our past, and so we're just going to use the month of January, know what we've done since January. So what we want to do in reflection is we want to just figure out what have we done? What have we done? And the purpose of that is that when we know what we've done, good, bad, indifferent, then we can adjust so that we can clearly move forward in February. So the purpose of it is so that we can make the adjustments so that we can move forward closer to our goals, our purpose, our mission, whatever you want to call it. So we want to make those little tweaks, those little minor adjustments so that we could get to where we want to go. This is like so big. Um, Another thing that I wrote was, our past is what got us to our present moment right now. Absolutely. Every decision that you've made up until this point, this very second, right now it's 2 o'clock, it's 2:07, 47 seconds, 48 seconds, 49 seconds. This very second right now, every decision that you've made to get us to the 55 seconds at this moment is going in is leading us to our future. So we have to know what our past is. We have to know because every decision has gotten us right here into this present moment, which then leads us into our future. So we have to reflect on it. So I promised you I'd keep it super simple. And I'm going to share with you some examples in my life in order for you to recognize that I go through the same process in order to move forward. But first, I want to just right now, 5 minutes into this video, you might have skipped ahead already. 5 minutes into this video, I want to share with you my tips for you. I promise you I'd keep them simple. So the first tip is to meditate. Okay, you don't want to meditate. I get it. You can't meditate. I get it. You can't do any. I get it. So let's keep it simple. Let's remove the word meditate. Let's just remove that from our vocabulary for right now. Let's understand what it is, but let's remove it. Meditating is sitting quietly in the present moment, acknowledging our thoughts and letting them pass with no judgment. That's what meditating is. And so we don't want to use the word because we get overwhelmed when we hear this word. So I'm not going to use the word, I promise. I mean, I probably use it again in this video, but I'm not going to use it in this moment. So in this moment, take a moment to think. Just take a moment to think. Think about what you've done in the past month. Think about the wins that you might have had in the past month. So wins could be anything from I'll share with you my wins. I had a great client testimonial said my coaching really helped him with his work. Another big win for me was that my girls and my wife love me and respect me. That's a big win for me. It was my birthday, so they shared a lot with me, a lot more this month with me than I guess normal months. I'm going to look at my notes real quick. I launched a fundraiser this month. That's a big win. I launched a boot camp this month, another program in my coaching services this month. It's a big win. I want to try to find you something super simple. Oh, here it is. This is what I wanted. This is what I was looking for in my notes. Optimism for my future. That's what I wrote in my notes. That's part of a win. So when I'm sharing this with you because we could have big wins that are like a testimonial, launching a program, love from family, and then we can have something as simple as just a feeling of optimism as part of our win. So as you're sitting there and thinking, see, I didn't use the word. As you're sitting there and thinking in terms of your wins, just think about what are the things that made you feel good this month? That's really what it comes down to. What made you feel good, right? So what were those things? Think about them. Let them float around in there. And in that M word, meditate, in that M word, what we would do is we would note them. So we would acknowledge the thought. We wouldn't put any judgment on it. So we're not just jumping out of our seats like, whoo, that was awesome. We're just acknowledging it. And then we're letting it pass. Just let the thought pass, right? We don't want to get too far because I'm going to get to my next tip for you. The next thing that we want to pay attention to while we're thinking, thinking, the next thing we want to pay attention to while we're thinking are our losses. What didn't we feel good about? What did we fall short of? What were some things that we just weren't happy about? And I'll share with you some of mine. So I'm going to look at my list. I had to close a business. I had to close one of my businesses. It didn't feel so good. It didn't feel good to close something that I started. It just doesn't feel good. I have some strain and tension with some family members in my family. That doesn't feel good. That's icky. That doesn't feel good, right? And some health issues. So, I have a calf injury right on my birthday. I was playing basketball, blew out my calf. Boom, popped it. Right? Couldn't play basketball. Haven't been able to play basketball since. That stinks, right? Doesn't feel good. And some stress financially, just financial stress. These don't feel good. This doesn't feel good, but I'm acknowledging them. This is part of this month. This is part of what happened in January. And so I acknowledge it. Here's the things that happened. I don't get into the feelings. You see why it's so important not to get too far into these feelings? Because we don't want to get too high and we don't want to get too low either. We don't want to get too low. We kind of just want to acknowledge them for where they are, right? And then our last one is what what resources do we have? Who can help us? What are the ways that we can navigate towards more of a steady future? So, who are those people? Who's coming to mind that you can see as a helper or as an expert or someone to assist you? Just let them float in there, let them come in. I'm using some meditative terms here. Don't do that. We're on a think break here, Michael. We're not meditating. All right, fair enough. So think about some people that have come into your life this past month that could really help you, that might be able to, recalibrate you so that you can put more wins in the column, so that you can kind of figure out what's going on in those situations that don't feel so good. So, who are those people? So, in this moment, we're just going to take that think break. That's all we're doing. That's the first step. First step in reflection. We take a think break. We think about our wins, our losses, and the people that can help us and the people that have come into our life. And then we just show gratitude towards it all. We just show gratitude towards it all. Grateful for all of it. Because remember, what I just said to you earlier is that everything we've done up until this present moment has led us to here. And regardless of what is happening in my life right now, I'm grateful for being here. And if you're watching this video right now, wherever you are, well, I know you're watching it because I'm speaking to you, right? So you're definitely watching it. The if is those people who don't watch it, but that's okay. I'm talking to you, right? So you're watching this video, and therefore you're watching it on a mobile device, or you're watching it on a phone, you're watching it on a tablet, you're watching it on a computer. Go ahead. Yeah, yeah. Raise your hand if one of those is true for you, right? You're watching it on one of those three areas, or a television if you were playing it on your TV right now, which is pretty cool because I'm on the big screen. Woo woo. If you're playing it on any of those areas, then you have a lot to be grateful for, because not everybody has a phone, not everybody has a tablet, not everybody has a computer, not everybody has a big screen TV or the size screen that you have. Not everybody has that. Not everybody has an internet connection to watch this video on. Not everybody has those things. And so there is a lot to be grateful for in this present moment. So show gratitude towards your past, because it got you to here. It got you to right now, right? All right. So we do that. Next step. Here it is. Here it is. Another word that we don't like. Another word. We don't like this word. Journal. Journal it. Write it down. Write down everything we just talked about. Write down the wins. Write down the losses. Write down what feels good, what doesn't feel good. Write down the people. Write it down. If you don't want to journal it, like I said, write it down. Then don't journal it. Just write it on a list. Do a to-do list. Do something. Write it down. Make notes, whatever you want to call it. Make a Google Doc. Write an email to yourself. Send a text message to yourself. Write it down. Put it down somewhere. It's important that we put it down somewhere. And the reason why it's important that we put it down somewhere is because what we just talked about, what you just did in January, whether you did it well or you didn't do it well, is what's going to help inform your decisions for February. So, what you did in January is informing your decisions for February. And so you need to write them down, because we need to acknowledge them. We need to look at them. We need to understand, what is it that we did well? What are we improving? And who are the people that are going to help us? We need to be able to know what that is. And so this one here is super simple. Just write it down. For me, I put a big list of bullet points, just a big list of bullet points. That's what I did. I got a wins column, a losses column, and then I named the last one. I'm not going to tell you what I named the last one. I'm going to tell you what I named the last one in like 2 seconds once I tell you my third tip for you, and then that's it, and we're going to end the video. But the last one, so before we get there, so write it down. That's what I want to just make sure that you understand. So the first thing we have in terms of reflection, first thing we have is taking that moment to think about it all. Think about your wins, think about your losses, think about the people. The second thing we have is to write it all down. And the reason why we're writing it down is so that we can reference it, so that we can make better decisions or help improve or have a clarity going into February. So that's why we're writing it down. And the third one, this is the third one. This is why I didn't want to tell you yet, because this one's kind of cool. I like how I wrote it down here. So this one's cool. So this third one here is, I wrote it down. I'm going to put it this way. I wrote it down as help is on the way. So the third one here is discuss all of this, what we just talked about, what you thought about and what you wrote down, with a trusted advisor, with a trusted friend, with a coach, with a mentor. Discuss it with someone. That's where I said, like, all of this is free, but maybe if you get a coach, you have to pay for it. Obviously, like if you hire me, you have to pay for me. But my point is that we want to take all of this and we want to get some feedback. We want to receive feedback from someone to help us recalibrate. See, when we first did this thinking and we said wins, losses, and then who can help us, this is where those who's come in. Who are the people who will help us? Help is not just for our failures. So, like if you had a fitness goal of losing 30 pounds and you're thinking about, oh, well, I got to hire that personal trainer. Sure, right? Maybe. But what if you had a fitness goal of gaining a bunch of muscle and you didn't get there yet? But you did get somewhere. Maybe hiring a personal trainer is also a good person to hire, right? Maybe not the best example. But my point is that the experts are not just there for the failures, they're also there for the wins. So you might have something in your win column that you're seeing and you want to be able to double down on it and execute on it even further and more, and you're even more clear on it and you want to go even further with it. Well, then who is someone that you can share that idea with, share that momentum with, that can bring it to the next level with you? Who's that person? Reflect it to them. It's the same thing with our losses. Who are those people that are going to help us through those losses? Who are the people that will help us not just through the losses, but will help us figure out ourselves how to get us through the losses, right? Or those bad feelings. So, who are the people? And so I named it Help is on the Way. I love that idea. And so I just shared with you some examples of my wins and of my losses. And so think about who are some of the people that I'm reflecting on. So for me, I started therapy. I did. I reached out to a therapist. I got a great referral reference, that is. And I reached out to a therapist. I said, hey, I'm having some strain in my family relationships and I don't like it. And I want things to improve. I don't want a cycle to continue. I want to be able to change and get better and improve. It's what I teach. And therefore, I want to practice it. And so I started meeting with someone. I busted my calf on my birthday. Well, guess what I did? I started physical therapy. I started physical therapy to work on my calf so I could get better. And then something else happened, freaky thing happened, but then I had some like nerve issues there. Well, I reached out to somebody else who's a neurologist and got an appointment with him next Thursday coming up. So, and I want to say one more because I talked about doubling down on our strengths. So I mentioned those are my two weaknesses, right? Those are things that kind of came in and feel good. So I'm fixing them. I'm working on it. I'm reflecting. Who is the people that can help me? How can I move forward in February so that February is a good month and I have other problems in February, right? And then I have my fundraiser that I launched and I have my boot camp that I launched. And those are going great. We got momentum building. I got a landing page. We got a registration site coming. There's all sorts of different things happening. How do I double down on that? I got Katie. What's up, Katie? I got Katie. Katie Haynes, Marketing and Media. I got Katie. We're doubling down. She's seeing what we're doing. We're working on it. We're building on it. We're building more. I got Rocky. He's recording videos. He's making really great videos. That intro, outro that you see there, or actually, it's not that one. That one Katie did for me, but I got a different one that Rocky did for me. So I'm doubling down. I got Merritt in my corner. We're working on different things to try to get my 12-week plan on the way and making sure that I'm building great progress and momentum. So I'm doubling down on my wins too. So we're not just looking at our losses and going, how do I fix that? Yeah, of course we are. But we're also looking at our wins and saying, how do I improve that? So those are my three. I'm going to just repeat them for you and just share and just conclude it with this. So those are my three. So my three are what we want to do first is we want to reflect on our month in order for us to recalibrate for February. So we're reflecting on January so we could recalibrate for February, have a clear vision for February on how we're going to be able to hit, reach, and crush our goals, as they say, right? And of course, we'll have other things in there. But all we need to do is learn how to reflect. And so we go through the first one, which is to learn how to reflect. We just have to take a moment to think. Think about our wins, think about our losses, think about the people, remove all judgment, and show gratitude for your present moment. Write it all down. Take a moment, write it all down in a Google Doc, write it down in an email, a text message, write it down somewhere so that you could reach out to the experts in your life. You can reach out to the people you trust in your life, the coaches, the mentors, the advisors that you could reflect some of this back to and receive some answers. Merritt is the person I reflected some of this to and gave me the reference to go see Gemma, who is the person who's helping me in terms of therapy. So by reflecting it to that expert, I was able to meet another expert by going to PT and reflecting to my that expert there at physical therapy that I feel some nerve things happening. I was able to go and make an appointment with another expert to see a neurologist. So by reflecting, we're going to find some answers. Well, excuse me, I don't want to say answers, but we're going to find some clarity to get closer to some answers, to get closer to some solutions, to get closer to our goals. That's the purpose of all of this. I want to thank you for watching Making Moves with Michael on a Monday. Here I am, 2 o'clock. It's 2:23. I said this video was only going to be 8 minutes. I told you I was going to lie to you. Well, I'm very happy to see that I can speak for 20 minutes and hopefully hold your attention. I might not have held it for the whole 20, but I'm just happy to see it because it's one of my goals. One of my other wins is that I've booked a few speaking gigs, and one of my goals is to make sure that I could speak 10 to 20 to 30, 40 minutes without having to reference notes all the time or be worried about what I'm talking about, knowing my content so well that I can just speak freely, share stories, share ideas. And so I'm happy I'm doing this with you. And I'm very grateful for you watching this video, sticking around. Maybe you put a comment in, maybe you threw me a little heart. I like a little heart. Well, how did they do that? Here we go. Here we go. I like a little heart. Sometimes it's just me talking to myself. I'm all right with that because it's all practice. It's all practice, people. It's all practice. Everything you're doing right now is practice. Remember, this present moment becomes our history, which then informs our decisions for our future. I want to thank you again for watching. As always, stay happy and stay healthy. Check me out on Thursday for The Shining Light. Download your latest version of the Michael Esposito Show podcast, streaming on Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, and all streaming platforms. As always, everyone, stay happy and stay healthy, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye, everyone. Trying to play the outro here. I don't know. I don't know why it's not working so well, but I think we're just gonna end it. Goodbye.